Being a dentist is not easy. You got to keep your sweating on the outside and you're crying on the inside. Lucky for you, I have amazing friends and sponsors that are here to help you on Talking Nachos. My name is Paul Dr. Nacho Goodman, founder of Dental Nachos and Dentist Job Connect. And this show is dedicated to helping you decrease stress. Before we get started, I want to share with you, we have our most transformative event, Super Dentist Boost Camp, coming up this August. If you would like to be part of Super Dentist Boost Camp, just text BOOST to 215-543-6454. We have ways for you to participate in person here in Philadelphia, hanging out with us for cheesesteaks, camaraderie, and CE. We also have ways for you to participate online. Check out Boost Camp by texting BOOST to 215-543-6454. I'm ready for my first guest when they are ready to come up. Awesome. So share with us what you do, who you are, and how you help dentists decrease stress.
Sure. My name is Aaron Nicholas. I have a company called Monday Morning Dentistry. And the thing I do to help dentists reduce stress is offer hands-on and streaming courses and online clinical coaching to give doctors a better, more efficient way to go through their procedures and feel more confident doing it.
Awesome, man. We got to see each other last week. We see each other all the time. We're on the East Coast here together. We're both dentists. I graduated in 2002. What year did you graduate from dental school?
Way earlier than that, 1987.
1987. So you are doing the work of the Lord G.V. Black. You have helped my own associates, Aaron. But why I like this, why do you call it Monday Morning Dentistry?
I call it Monday Morning Dentistry because when I was starting to take courses, there were a lot of them that were just fluff, and I could never, you'd have to either rearrange your whole office or you really couldn't incorporate them easily. And I always promised myself if I did courses, it would be stuff that you could take home and start using Monday morning in an office that's reasonably well equipped. And so we want results. That's what we're looking for.
And you guys deliver them. Now, you did a course in Philadelphia. Let's just kind of distill down to one of your courses.
Sure.
You've dedicated a lot of your life's work actually to the root canal buildup and crown. So for those watching, why is that such a core part of your dental life as a clinical dentist?
So I think there are two things that dentists overlook and they don't get really good training in, and it would really behoove them to do that as soon as they get out of school. One is to do molar root canals, and the other is to do efficient extractions. So I found that in my life, I could get a molar root canal and crown done in 45 minutes to an hour of doctor time, and then the rest of the time would be for the assistant. And I had a lot of friends who weren't doing it. I'm like, hey, I can kind of teach this. I put together an online course. And then people are like, well, we want hands-on. And I was like, okay, give me 6 months. We put the hands-on course together. And now we've got a lot of docs who used to hate doing molar root canals, and not only in way less time, but also getting the crown done at the same time, which is a huge productivity boost, especially if you're a younger doc and you're trying to build a practice. And you're going to see a lot of emergencies, and they're going to be extractions or root canals.
Yeah, and that's, I will share, you work with so many different, you're a DSI black belt coach. Why do practice owners, who are 40, 50 years old, why would they love to have their associate, extract teeth or do root canals? Why would they be happy to keep their associate's schedule full by doing that?
Sure. I mean, usually they're sending those procedures down the road, or maybe they had dabbled in it and never quite got it worked out. And so they gave that up years ago. And now you walk in the door, no one's doing root canals or no one's doing, surgical extractions. That means all of that work gets to stay in the practice and come to the associate, who the owner doc is trying to get productive so they can, justify having them there, help expand the practice, et cetera, et cetera. So,
and what I'll share to add to that, which 100% right, is there's just so many distractions as a practice owner that you have to deal with outside the operatory during your day that only you can answer, that these procedures like molar root canals or removing teeth and doing bone grafting, which require a bit of focus, it's nice not to have to do them and kind of run around the office doing all your other stuff, doing all your owner stuff, and I think that's the synergy you can create by training your associates. So when people text Monday to 215-543-6454, they're going to get back the opportunity to connect with you on your next course, in person, online. Tell our audience about that.
So next courses are actually next week in Florida. We're doing the 1 hour molar root canal course.
Nice.
There'll be another one in August. And then we are doing the hands-on extraction and the hands-on molar root canal course on the same weekend in Ocala, Florida. And that's, I wrote it down here, October 4th and 5th. And that's going to be, one day is going to be the 1 hour molar canal build up and crown. The next day is going to be extractions. There will be an online lecture thing they need to go through, because the day they get there, all I want them doing is doing hands-on stuff.
That's awesome. Now, and that's the one where you can correct me if I'm wrong, the extraction portion will be on patients.
The extraction course is on live patients, and the root canal course is on extracted teeth.
Awesome. They're going to really see both sides of it, removing the tooth and saving it, like I call it, private premolar Ryan. So you're helping on both sides there.
Yeah, somebody was kidding me. They said, "Oh, so they're going to do the root canals on the patients the first day, and then they're going to take that tooth out the second day." I'm like, no.
Not exactly that. Well, I appreciate everything you do for our community, and thanks for being such an awesome sponsor. People can text Monday to 215-543-6454. I hope we get to hang out in person again soon.
All right, thanks, Paul. Thanks for having me on.
Awesome. So as you guys can see, Talking Nachos is here to deliver you toppings to help you decrease stress. I'm ready for my next guest. My team is ready. Awesome. Share with our audience who you are and what you do to help dentists.
Yes, thanks for having me. My name is Kate Worth. I work for Dentist Job Connect, and our team works very hard to help practices who are looking to increase collections, maybe have some more free time, more clinical freedom, vacations, continue to grow their practices, and we do that by helping connect them with associates.
And I'm so proud, Kate, to have you as part of my team. You're part of our Dentist Job Connect world here. You came from outside of dentistry, but now, much like Brandon Hill, you are totally infected by the dental world. You help people at all ages and stages of their journey, but I find it to be really cool. We help people hire their first associate dentist, right? Their first one. What have you seen through our clients, whether it's Dr. Mitchell Rubenstein from Nachos, Dr. Bob D, when they hire that first associate, what does that unlock for them?
It unlocks a lot of things, and there's a couple different situations that I've been talking to different dentists recently. One can be the potential of burnout. We all know can be typically very high. So the fact that they're able to bring on an associate, spend more time with family, like I said, go on more vacations, just free up to be there for their team, answer more questions, and be a lot less stressed is great. Another one is clinical freedom. A lot of dentists are looking to do different procedures, and having the associate there who, again, at the time that they're willing to mentor and do other procedures is very, very helpful.
Well, you made a good point. It's the corollary to what Aaron talked about. Some of these practice owners are developing their skills in implant dentistry and full mouth rehabs, but if they are stuck having to do simple fillings and other things, they're only one person. So we've seen people in their growth process say, "Hey, I really like to do these high level cases," and then share the general dentistry. And we'll tag Dr. Todd Fleischman in the comments, because he showed at Boost Camp, I helped him hire his first associate, and his patient said, "Hey, I met your associate while you were on vacation," and he was literally at a picture of a beach, and it was great having him there. Tell us a little bit about what you guys do and how it works. People can text job to 215-543-6454. They can text hire to 215-543-6454. So you're on Facebook, phone calls, text message with owners. If they're just kind of saying, how does Job Connect work? Tell us about it.
Yeah, thanks. So a lot of times people don't understand what we do. We have a very passionate team behind the scenes. So when you say job board, you might think of an Indeed or something. We do have a similar capabilities. However, we're driven by the passion to really bring successful connections. So there is a listing. You're able to post it on dentistjobconnect.com. And that gives the ability to search through over 2,000 resumes within our database. We have over 4,600 job seekers who can apply directly to your listing. But what does make it unique is the fact that our team works very hard using the Dental Nacho community and really sharing these listings through emails, texts, one-on-one connections, really learning about the practice, whether they're able to bring on offer mentorship, buy-in opportunities, whatever makes them unique, we connect them with the perfect associate.
I love what you shared, and kind of with this quote I think is good. It's like, comparison creates context. It's not a contest, right? Comparison creates context. It's not a contest. But for us to educate our audience, we literally had a position we put on 4 days ago in Texas. And how many applicants have applied already?
Last time I checked, it was 20.
20 applicants in 4 days. And then again, we may have a position in Oregon with our awesome friend, Dr. Blake Drew, and he may get 2 applicants in 2 months, but we give them the power to search through that resume database, and it only takes 1. You've seen our clients be successful if they're in what we call a hard to fill area. tell our audience about that before I wrap up.
We have. So a lot of times in the hard to fill areas, we do ask to take a more proactive approach. Again, reaching out through the resume database, we have a unique feature that allows you to see if they're willing to relocate. So we work really hard with the practice to create a really strong, appropriate ad for what they're looking for. And we're able to help them find associates who are willing to travel across the country. And we've also found one that we thought was going to be hard to find. We found somebody within a mile from their practice through our database. So
I love that, Kate. Well, you're doing such amazing work with the Dentist Job Connect team. We so appreciate it. If someone wants to connect with you, they can text job to 215-543-6454, and we'd be glad to help them. Thanks for sharing with us today.
Thanks for having me.
So as you guys can see, we're talking about clinical dentistry, career development. I'm ready for my next guest when my team is ready to bring them up. So share with us who you are and what you do to help dentists.
Hi, Paul. My name is Dr. Aditi Agarwal. I'm a general dentist by trade, but I also have a software company. We are called Practice by Numbers. The software company started out as an analytics company, but now we do both the patient-facing part as well as the analytics part for dentists and their teams to make their lives better.
I also want to share, this is a very dentist-heavy show. We got Aaron Nicholas, we got me, we got Aditi. Look, the dentists are taking over here on Talking Nachos. So let's talk about Practice by Numbers. Has such a great reputation in the dental world. You know, I've been a dentist since 2002, and it was not popular to track anything back then. Maybe you print it out on a spreadsheet or a piece of paper. We did 10 crowns last month, and we're going to do 20 this month. But just whether it's your own practice or your clients, what is the value of digging into tracking your metrics so that they can help you shape your career?
Well, you know, the value is it's insane how much you don't know till you don't know.
Yeah.
You know, and like just for me, when I started out, my case acceptance wasn't that great. And I'd be wondering, what the heck am I doing wrong, right? Am I not presenting properly? Am I not educating the patients properly? Am I not giving them enough financial options? How would you know where you're lacking, what you need to improve, unless you have hard data to back you up? And it wasn't until I started to dig deep that I realized, wow, okay, I just don't have enough financial options for my patients. And that's why they're not accepting treatment. So that's what I need to improve. Otherwise, you know, we tend as dentists to blame ourselves. And
yes, that's how dental school taught us. It's all our fault. It's wild and sad that we do that. You know, one of the, I try to come up with good quotes on this. Like I said, comparison, creates context. It's not a contest. For this is, data drives better decisions. I'd like to share, it doesn't determine all decisions, right? Yeah. Whether it's my company, Dental Nachos, or my dental practice, it doesn't determine every decision, but it's able to drive better decisions. Because without it, I always make this joke, whenever you go to a restaurant and they put the calories on the menu, they kind of ruin the experience for you. But we do track what we put in our bodies so we can be healthy. So we need to track what goes into our practice. And maybe you want to do a free dental day and give away dentistry for a day. That's cool if you do it one day, but what I want to ask you is, does this help you with making decisions around dental insurance? Can Practice by Numbers help you, whether it's want to go into more networks, come out of networks, see what you're writing off? That's one of the biggest pain points in this community.
Absolutely.
That help?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I did it for my own practice, Paul, right? We can basically drill down into figuring out, since we're code-based, we can figure out exactly how much reimbursement you're getting from what insurance. Yeah. And then also that helps you understand, oh, okay, this is my low-paying insurance. I want to not work with these guys, right? How do you know which one's the lowest reimbursing insurance? Unless and until you drill down into the numbers. So, and we can do that. And then we can also, once you understand which ones are the low paying ones, if you want to say you have a large number of patients on that insurance and you want to negotiate with them, you can actually go back and say, hey, you know what? I have hard data showing that you guys are the lowest paying and you've got all your subscribers are in my area and I want to take care of them, but you got to take care of me.
Yeah. So you can use facts to share a feeling story, right? And I think, that's just, the huge value. When people text PBN to 215-543-6454, I know there's so many practices that could benefit from tracking. But it's hard to make changes. So what do? Do they go on a Zoom with you and your team? Do they need to send you information? Walk them through the first step. Someone's listening right now to two dentists who graduated over 2 years ago, we'll say. We don't have to say exactly how old we are, but we are like the same age, right? But and they say, I've never thought of this before. Tell us what happens when they text PBN.
So when you text PBN, you will be directed to our page, our main page, where you can request a demo. And you will see or meet with one of our great agents, our accounts executives, and they will go through, actually understand what your pain points are. What do you want to gain in your practice? What is bothering you? What's holding you back? Because PBN does a lot besides analytics. We also do the patient-facing part where we do the forms and we do insurance verification, online booking, online payments, and a ton of other stuff. But we want to understand what is your problem. And only then we can help you, direct you to how we can help to hopefully fix that problem and give you a demo and understand, and then you can decide what you want to do, where you want to take this.
And I love this. You guys are so great. People just do the demo. We had a rock and a stick back in 2005, and now you can at least find out where your pain is. You might not be able to change it tomorrow. You might have to stay in network, but at least you can get the data to drive better decisions. To do this, Aditi, cry less inside, okay? This is the cry inside monster, and this is how we feel when you see an EOB with a 50% adjustment. So thank you so much for sharing. Can't wait to see you in person again soon.
Same here. Thanks, Paul.
Thanks, Aditi. So we're learning so much clinical career data to drive decisions. I'm ready for my next guest, so my team is ready to bring it up. So share with us who you are and how you help dentists.
Hi, I'm Carrie Millar with Dentist Insurance Services, and we help with malpractice, cyber liability, disability, and everything you need to run your practice so that you don't have to worry about it.
And I think I'm so glad you are here, both literally and figuratively, as a supporting sponsor, because when you live inside my phone, Carrie, you get many, many DMs of, I have a crisis, I have a challenge, and a lot of it revolves around insurance that the dentist needs to protect themselves. Not dental insurance, the dentist needs to protect themselves. So let's just help this audience with some fundamentals. And even though I'm 20 years into this, I will admit, malpractice insurance always confuses me. They use these terms. So let's just say you're a dentist, you're working for a DSO, you might want to leave that DSO or private practice. What are some things you should think about? What might be some mistakes you don't want to make? Because I've seen some dentists in our community make these mistakes.
Yeah, absolutely. So you want to make sure if you are working for a practice that provides you the malpractice insurance, that you either tail out that policy, meaning you buy a policy that will cover you for any claims going forward for when you worked there, or you get a new coverage and you ask them to use a retroactive date, or what some people sometimes say a prior act date, but basically will cover you for any claims going forward all the way back to when you started with the DSO. So you want to make sure that if anybody comes forward in the future from the time you were there, you have coverage for that. So
I like what you shared there, because I've gotten near dentists say, hey, it's 2 years, I'm not in that practice anymore, but there's a claim against me, I don't know what to do. So can people literally reach out to you and text insurance to 215-543-6454? Can you walk them through that?
Yeah, absolutely. And especially the new grads that are coming out that are looking at their contracts, deciding whether they want to carry their own malpractice or they want the DSO to carry theirs, or they're thinking about carrying two malpractices, which is you don't want to do unless you exclude specific coverages from each policy, because you don't want overlap. It doesn't mean double coverage. It just means diluted coverage. So yes, they can. I have a team of 25 people that are there to help them if they text that number.
Is it fair for me to say, and you can correct me, get your own, make sure you have your own, make sure they work with you. Don't just say, hey, we're covering you and not ask questions, because I'm assuming that could leave some of these new grads open to liability that they're not aware of.
Yeah, absolutely. If you can get your own and you can get them to either reimburse you for your own or specifically schedule you out of their policy, that's going to be the best bet for you. But if they're requiring you to take theirs, you want to make sure that you put that they have to buy the tail on your behalf in your contract and that you don't have to pay for it. And you want to make sure that you specifically exclude their offices on the own policy that you carry for yourself for moonlighting.
Awesome. I always think of ideas when I have these and help my team, Josh. And I kind of envision, like, you have a dental student and they're going to go camping, right? And they
Mhm.
need to put all these things in their backpack, and they kind of got to go camping for the rest of their lives into the real world of dentistry. And they don't want to be out there without something in their backpack. It's not the best example for me because I'm not into camping or glamping. I'm into being inside. But there are some people who do like camping who will get this example, because I just think back to my dental school experience, and even Aaron Nicholas's and Aditi's. No one really talked about any of these things. And I had a dad who was a dentist, and I was lucky to have him. But he was 25 years after dental school. So of course he told me get loops. Of course he told me you need disability insurance. But even if you have a family member in dentistry, things change so rapidly. So connecting with you before when is a good time to connect with you for malpractice insurance? Because this moment of this recording, I know this will be played later, is in April, where a lot of people are graduating. Should they be connecting with you now?
Yes. Yeah. So April, May, as soon as you start thinking about what you're doing next up, you start interviewing. That's when you want to make sure that you have a good idea of what you want malpractice wise and what you're expecting. Disability insurance, you should have already been thinking about it. And if you're not, you need to get it done now, because you have about 60 days from your graduation to qualify for higher benefits as a new grad. And then that goes away too. So you want to make sure that you're thinking about the disability if you already haven't signed an application, and definitely the malpractice insurance right now. And just, what policy you're going to have and where you're going to practice and what kind of coverage you need. We recommend occurrence form policies until you're in your forever dental home, and then absolutely go switch to claims made and save the money and get the free tail. But if you're not sure where your forever dental practice is yet, then occurrence makes the most sense.
Absolutely love that. So do occurrence until you're in for your forever dental home. Well, before we wrap up, there's just one more thing I want you to go over to scare our audience.
Okay.
So text insurance to 215-543-6454 to connect with Carrie. But when you're a dental practice owner, one of the scariest things is to hear that you've been hacked. And it's happened to me. And everything I want to share authentically, everything went as well as it could have post the hack. And it was one of the worst weeks of my life. Outside of personal challenges that I've dealt with and family challenges, the week where our office was hacked, even though it went well, was one of the worst weeks of my life. And I'm assuming a lot of people, it doesn't go so well. So maybe could you aware and scare our audience as to why they should reach out to you to make sure their cyber liability is in check?
Yeah. So you are very lucky. It was only a week. We're now looking at 3 to 4 weeks is kind of the normal, how long it takes. And so I tell people, how much coverage should you have? You need to find out tell me how much revenues you guys make in a month, and then at least double that as the amount of coverage, because part of it's going to go to that business income. The other part's going to go to the liability. We're seeing a lot of class action lawsuits now on the lawyer pages, like, hey, were you hacked? Were you part of this hack? Were you part of this hack? And it's now starting to go to the practice levels and the smaller practice levels. Hey, was your patient information hacked in any way? So we haven't seen a lot of lawsuits on the third party side, but I think that those are really starting to come down the pipeline, as well as, it is 3-4 weeks that you're out now, not just a week anymore. So,
well, I love what you share, Carrie. Thanks so much for supporting us. Get the coverage you need to not cry inside. Text insurance to 215-543-6454. Thanks so much for sharing with us.
All right. Thanks, guys.
So this is our job here, to scare you in a responsible way, aware you, prepare you, and protect yourself. I'm ready for my next guest when they're ready to bring them up. Awesome. Share with us what you do and how you help dentists.
Hi, Doc. Thanks for having me. My name is Will Gilmore, and I founded Elevate Compliance, which is the first truly all-in-one dental compliance dashboard and platform. So we do everything from OSHA, HIPAA, infection control, chart auditing training, compliance coordinator training, and based on some of the things I've heard from some of the other guests today, maybe we'll see about having some featured content from them as well. We like to have rotating featured content from other providers of CE. So that's kind of where we're at now.
Well, I want to share, every time I hear the word compliance, it reminds me of when my gym teacher said we're going to do calisthenics. Not fun, okay? But it was necessary, okay? Necessary. Because if you do not stay compliant, you can risk so many different things. So let's just talk a minute about something that's really important to me, infection control and OSHA. Someone's watching this, they're like, I have not done an OSHA training since before COVID. I know I'm supposed to. I know that buying the OSHA book doesn't do the training any more than buying the treadmill works out for you. They reach out to you for OSHA training. What happens?
Yeah, so actually everything that we have is run through our dashboard. Everything is run through the platform. So when you join the platform, you have access to all of the training as well as those manuals like you talked about, but we do digital ones instead of the big, like you said, the big 5-inch binder that sits on the shelf that realistically nobody really ever touches. So we want to make it a little bit more accessible. But we also understand that while, like you said, calisthenics and the treadmill analogy are good, people don't really want to do compliance. If I asked a room full of dentists, raise your hand if you love your day where you get to do your compliance training, can pretty much guarantee nobody's raising their hands. So we aim to make it accessible and a little bit fun. So we have some resources in the actual training that's not just like watching a video. It's very interactive. You mentioned infection control. And just a quick blurb about that. We have a game as part of our infection control training where you allocate proper waste to its proper receptacle, whether it be a sharps container, trash, red biohazard bag. So it really makes the training a little bit more fun as training in compliance can be.
I love that. And then the cousin of crying inside is what I like to call HIPAA. I don't mess around with HIPAA or hippos at the zoo. Both scare me. HIPAA changes constantly. And I mean, you must have some compassion and empathy for dentists and their dental offices when it comes to HIPAA, because while it is very important to maintain patient privacy, it causes a lot of daily challenges in what we do, how we communicate, how we move people forward. But it's so important to stay up to date with. So do you do HIPAA training too? And how does that work?
Yeah. Yep. So we also do the HIPAA training as well. Again, the 3 benchmarks are OSHA, HIPAA, and infection control. And so as part of the HIPAA training, again, the manual, just like with the OSHA side of it, but we're also accessible anytime. So you can log into the platform if, say, you have a breach, or, I heard you talking with Carrie a few minutes ago about the hack that you had and shut you down for a week. And we really delve into a lot of the cybercrime side of it and, kind of explore backups and the ways that can help shorten down that length of time that Carrie said is now weeks. So yeah, like you said, it's scary stuff, and we aim to make it as easy and simple to understand as we can.
Well, I appreciate you supporting us as a sponsor. We need this. I want to give my community good resources. When people text compliance to 215-543-6454, how do they start the process with you? Do you jump on a Zoom with them? Do they fill out info? Tell my audience about that.
Absolutely. Yeah. So our first step is always just basically a discovery demo where we get an opportunity to have a Zoom call with the client and kind of show them the platform. And usually that's all it takes for people to kind of go, wow, okay, this is pretty simple. This is easy to navigate. It's not confusing. And then we always offer at that initial discovery meeting, we also offer our compliance score and analysis, which is just a great 3-4 page document that kind of goes through all the major broad strokes of compliance in the office. So a practice can get sort of a general idea of where they're at. And then we use that information once they're on the platform really to tailor the programs as best we can to the individual practices.
Awesome. Well, I really appreciate being a practice owner. It's like having a 5-year-old child that never grows up. It's part awesome, part annoying, all the time exhausting. And we appreciate you helping us. Thanks so much for sharing with us today.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
So we are learning so much. This is an amazing Talking Nachos episode. I am ready for my next guest, and my team is ready to bring them up. Awesome. So share with us who you are and what you do to help dentists.
Yes, thank you, Doc. I'm happy to be here. My name is Anthony Perez. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Direct Dental. What we are is we're a 3-in-1 platform. We're a job board, we are a marketplace, and a recruiting service all in one. We help dental offices connect with every position in a dental office that they may need to hire, from the back office clinical staff to the front office, as well as associates and specialists, everything in between. We're nationwide. We work in all 50 states, and we've had success in both urban and rural areas.
Well, you are not needed in this world because there's just a surplus of team members. Just kidding. I live every day with anxiety that someone's going to say, guess what? Something good happened to me, Anthony, and I'm leaving and moving across the country. Guess what? I'm going to be going on maternity leave. So what you guys do is so important to our practices. I've spoken to your founder, Holly, who's awesome. Let's just drill down, dental pun intended, a little bit into the hygienist role, okay? Because, I do need a front desk team member. If they're watching, I love them, okay? And if my second front desk team member cannot come in because their child is sick or they have a problem, I can still operate my office. But if my hygienist texts me in the morning and say, hey, I can't come in today, or hey, I need to take a month off, I have a real problem. So could you give us some insight into just the hygienist hiring marketplace? Is it good? Is it bad? What should people be doing? I know my audience would love to learn about that.
Yes, absolutely. Hygienist is certainly the most competitive position in the dental job market. There's more jobs out there than there are qualified dental hygienists to work them. So I don't say that to discourage you, but rather I kind of give you that insight to let you know that you need to do a little bit more or take extra steps to put yourself in a competitive position to find a hygienist. For example, getting your job listed across multiple platforms, working with different agencies and services, trying to find both a full-time, part-time, as well as temporary hygienist that can fill in. So really just kind of opening yourself up and being flexible. That's actually one of my favorite words to include in a job description, is the word flexible in terms of scheduling and your ability to work with a hygienist. Those are some kind of tips and tricks of the trade to help get more hygienists interested in working at your office.
I love that. I mean, flexibility is key. I mean, it's really cool to run a dental office, but it also can really make you cry inside because it's like a football team, and when one person's missing, it can just shut down the whole operation. And I think what you guys are doing is so amazing. When people text direct to 215-543-6454, we got an office manager listening in, we got a solo GP listening in. What's going to happen? Do they get a complimentary month? Do they create an account? Do they talk to you? Tell our audience how it works.
Yes, absolutely. So we offer two types of service, that really meet, the needs of a dental office. So you can register online and start a free 7-day trial if you'd like, if you want to do our self-serve option, which is our essential plan. From there, you can post unlimited jobs, request temps, search profiles. Your job, when you post it on Direct Dental, gets visibility not only on our platform, but it also gets distributed out automatically to other major platforms like Indeed and ZipRecruiter and Google and a bunch of others. And if you would prefer to have more of a hands-on approach, we do offer that as well. Our recruiter services are where you can reach out to us and we can schedule a call to go over a particular position. Let's say it's a hygienist. We'll go over the details of the job. We'll make sure that we put together a compelling description for your office, do a pay rate analysis for your area, get that job listed on your behalf, and then do proactive recruiting to help generate applicants for your office. So you have the option basically of either coming to our platform, directdental.com, and signing up on your own at your own leisure, or reaching out to us and giving us a call, and we're happy to help as well.
Love that. It fits with your brand, being flexible in both ways. So I think that's awesome. Well, thanks so much for supporting our community. I'm so thrilled to have a company like yours that's helping dentists totally cry less inside. Appreciate you sharing with us today. So as you guys can see, as we wrap up, I want to remind you that we have Super Dentist Boost coming up. There are ways to be there in person and online. It is an amazing experience to help practice owners survive and thrive. Text Boost to 215-543-6454.